New York actually had the brilliant idea, I didn't really mean brilliant, to let the zillions of illegal aliens in their city vote in local elections, even though the Constitution says they can't. Oh, thank goodness the appeals court threw that one out. Here's something, Claire, that I don't get. The Constitution of the United States is very clear that you need to be an American to vote in American elections. New York City passed an ordinance that was going to allow their zillions of illegals to vote. Come on in, Juan. We're going to tell you what to do. We're going to tell you who to vote for, and on and on and on. The court just held that, the appeals court in New York State just declared that illegal. Thank God. It's a little sanity being injected. At the same time, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, who proudly yelled it from every corner early in his campaigning and then in his tenure as mayor of New York, what a great sanctuary city New York City was. Send us your tired, your poor, blah, blah, blah. We'll put them up in hotels. We'll pay for everything. He's just come out and said, we're out of resources. We don't have a place to put them. We don't have the money. We're a sanctuary city, but our resources are not unlimited. This is being echoed at other cities around the country, which is to say, hey, send them, send them, send them. But don't send them here. We don't have any money, and we don't want them ruining our place. Like the famous story, Martha's Vineyard, where the Clintons have a house, Obamas have a house. That's a sanctuary city. But they don't want any illegals there. That's what it really was funny in an ironic sort of way that Ron DeSantis was sending illegals there from Florida and Abbott was sending illegals there from Texas just to say, hey, you want them? Now you got them right on your beach in front of your $10 million estate.
It's the height of hypocrisy, isn't it? Not in my backyard. But they want the accolades of being a sanctuary city until it actually happens and the illegals show up on their doorstep. But that is happening all over the country, and not just in sanctuary cities, but many other places that are likewise full up and didn't even announce themselves to be sanctuary cities in the first place. Again, this is going to mount and build through the year this year before the November election. But getting back to your first point there about voting, I think that some cities or towns at the local level are trying to make the distinction that the prohibition against non-citizens voting is at the federal level, not at the local level. But this appeals court, to its credit, in my opinion, I think probably yours too, made the right decision. That no, you're not a U.S. citizen. You don't vote, local or federal. I think that's what it ought to be. But, to enforce that, you're going to need things like voter ID and a means of verifying that. And that's not in place yet in a whole lot of places around the country.
Yeah, and this is going to bring up the incredibly racist propaganda of 4 years ago, where people were saying, well, for Black and Hispanics, they can't come to the voting booth with ID because they don't know how to get ID, or they don't know how to get a driver's license, so they shouldn't have to identify themselves. It's incredibly dismissive of an entire race of people.
It's terribly, terribly insulting. Of course they can get IDs. That's not the point. And also, I think the point of the open border, or at least one of the points contributing to that policy, is indeed to change the demographics across America and eventually to allow somehow these illegals to be made into, given amnesty and a pathway to citizenship. That's the point. Yeah. Thinking they'll
we both know it's coming.
Democrat
Absolutely.
Voters. Yeah.
100%.